you're probably looking at the thumbnail on this video and asking yourself, who in the heck could this be? I know every player on the team. Who could West Virginia's possible secret weapon actually be? And the reason I'm calling it a secret is because virtually nobody is talking about the kid. And yet, he, of all the players that you could talk about and mention, could possibly have up to the largest impact. That's how, in my opinion, secret of a weapon this could be. There are a lot of what ifs here. We're going to find out a lot more about it as we go through fall camp over the next month or two. And so let's get into it a little bit, right? I got an article that was written, I don't know when it happened. This is obviously somebody that's come over the transfer portal. That's your first hint. And so I'm going to put on a quick little video of this player, and then that'll kind of give away who it is, and then we'll talk about him. I like being secretive, so forgive me. I'd like to see you guys' guesses down in the comments, though. You guys guess down in the comments who you think I'm talking about. Who on West Virginia's roster is new enough yet not overexposed like Garrett Greene is the obvious one that you could say would be a secret weapon on this team? I'm curious to know what you guys think. Nope. So far we're getting no. Didn't get your reminder, Brandon? That's really frustrating, man. Why don't you do me a favor? Everybody go turn on and – well, make sure you turn them back on if you don't have them on. But if you don't have the notification bell, make sure you do that so you get told. No Gallagher, no French, no Bray, no Farmer, no Carrico. Nope. All right, let's get on with it. It's been long enough. Pat White. Yeah. All right. Here we go. Well, we're watching a video first, apparently. You guys probably caught the bottom of it. Don't be ears. All right, here we go.
Will Rogers.
There he is. There's the sighting. Justin Robinson. I've watched a lot of tape on him over the last couple days. And, guys, he's supremely talented. And I'm talking about the most talented guy in our room. It's not even a stretch to say it at this point. I went and watched his high school stuff. I watched his Mississippi State stuff. He caught touchdowns. He was a starting receiver for Georgia, guys, at one point. He was scoring touchdowns. There's a video of him scoring as a part of Georgia. Do you realize how big that is? I don't think a lot of people realize just how big of a recruit he was, how big of his career hasn't gone like people would have expected up until now. But that's the great with getting a player that's still really young. There's still a chance for this kid to make a dent or an impact. And he could really be the secret sauce or the straw that stirs the drink for this West Virginia offense this year. I truly believe that. So let's get into an article really quick that Mike Ostie wrote. Did a really good job. Mike Ostie is so underrated. He does an incredible job writing articles for West Virginia sports. And this is another example of it. I'll read this really quick. I was doing my research when I read this. So this is on June 14th. So Mike Ostie has had this same thought as of recent as well. This is not a new thought. But while WVU views wide receiver Justin Robinson as a significant acquisition, and this really has all the information in it to kind of get the narrative I'm trying to paint. After months of searching for another experienced wide receiver, WVU found one in Mississippi State transfer Justin Robinson. And now on Friday afternoon, he's officially a Mountaineer. Robinson's signing comes 3 weeks after he announced his commitment on May 21st. So, this is a couple months old, right? So, not a lot of people are thinking about him yet. Below offers some background information on Robinson to help explain why WVU was so interested in requiring the receiver. Okay. And some of these had him as a 5-star, guys, just so you know. Like, he was a 5-star player at one time. A former consistent 4-star out of high school, Robinson comes to West Virginia after spending the past 2 seasons at Mississippi State. Prior to Mississippi State, Robinson was with Georgia for 1 year but saw limited action. He did score there, though. With the Bulldogs, which really he's always played for the Bulldogs until now, Robinson caught 51 balls for 583 yards and 3 touchdowns. He made 21 receptions for 257 yards in 2023 while battling injuries and has 1 year left. So he really falls into that Bray category of he's just never really been healthy yet, right? Has all the potential in the world. While West Virginia head coach Neil Brown labeled the recent hunt for a transfer receiver as mostly a luxury rather than a necessity a couple months back, adding a veteran player like Robinson will give Garrett Greene a big threat at his disposal, and Robinson should be a big weapon for the offense in every sense of the word big. Standing 6'4", 220 pounds, Robinson delivers the size and length WVU has been searching for all offseason. Robinson will be a tough tackle for any defender and will be – oops, I actually bumped it up. There's so many ads, I keep touching them. Much the same way tight end Cole Taylor left the SEC to join West Virginia, hoping to find an increased opportunity. Robinson is hoping he can finally enjoy a big season in the Big 12. Adding Robinson now gives the West Virginia coaching staff another veteran leader in the wide receiver room. Transfer addition Jaden Bray may have the resume to help young players, but he's not very vocal, something Traylon Ray mentioned after spring practice. Robinson provides someone like Ray, another receiver to go to for advice both on and off the field. And so, by the way, his most recent game, he's the ReliaQuest Bowl MVP, guys. So he was playing his best football at the right time for Mississippi State, right? So I don't, that's to me, that's the biggest part of this whole equation seems like he figured a lot out in his last game playing for Zach Arnett, a defensive-minded head coach, mind you, at Mississippi State. So not sure what his stat line looked like during that game. I'll look it up really quick. I'm curious to know what his stat line was. All right. Sorry, guys. I should already have this one ready, too. So it was a low-scoring game, which is insane. Mississippi State was 9-4 last year, too. Gosh, were they really? Maybe this is the year before or something. No, that's 2023. Okay, so I think this might – I'm really trying to figure out. Okay, so stats. That's what we're looking for here. It's not on this website. It's really not that huge of a deal, but I would like to know. Okay, here's ESPN. That'll have it. All right. Okay, so he had 7 catches for 81 yards and a touchdown. Okay, so that's not – in a game that's 19-10, that's pretty good. So, to me, man, he's 6'4", number one. He's about 220 pounds. He's a really big target. But if you watch his high school stuff, Listen, man. he is one heck of an athlete too. Like he really runs well. He's got great hips. He's got really good hands. Something that I really like about him is he's a really tenacious player. He plays with a lot of energy and effort, and to me, that's an important part of it too. Don't forget to like the video as well, guys. As always, hit that like button for me as you coming in and going out. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new around here. And if you're watching this after the live, guy, drop a comment below. Let me know how you feel about Justin Robinson. Certainly, he is, like I say, a pretty big deal. What have I done here? There we go. All right, so yeah, Matt, absolutely the transfer. Listen, Jaden Bray, I think, is a little bit more of a expected commodity at this point. I think a lot of people expect him to be good this year, although it could go the other way with him as well, no doubt. But he is more known, right? He's the more talked about receiver. Robinson, because it happened so late in the cycle, I think is being overlooked a little bit. Where the roles reversed, you probably could say this. If Robinson had come in when Bray did and Bray came in when Robinson did, I honestly think it would be reversed. We'd probably be talking about Robinson a little bit more just because he'd been on the team a little bit longer, So that's my 2 cents on it. Also, guys, super chat button is open. I don't like to harp on it too much, but this is how I support myself. It's how I pay my bills. So if you want to help in that way, it's always appreciated. And also on Cash App, it's ROCKEL 85 if you ever want to support the show. All right, Dylan Lester, thanks for the comment. I grew up 30 minutes from Mississippi State. Family still lives there. I've heard big things about him when I've asked. Mainly left because they lost their quarterback, but the quarterback plays same style as Garrett Greene. Right. Yeah, I wouldn't. Well, number one, Will Rogers has been, is he going into his 6th year? Seriously. How old is Will Rogers? I got to look at that. I got to look that up now because he's been around forever. Okay, he's 22, about to be 23. So where did he transfer? Did he go to Auburn or Oregon? Did he go to Oregon? Yeah, okay, so he transferred to Washington. Okay, so, he played 4 years at Mississippi State, and he started all 4 years from what I remember. He's been there forever. He's probably got almost every passing record you can have at Mississippi State. But, yes, he's very much like Garrett Greene, but he's, in my opinion, a little bit more polished of a passer. But that he's had so much more experience, though. I think this year is the year that Garrett really will match a guy like Will Rogers, who I do have a lot of respect for. That kid was the best player on that Mississippi State team for years, in my opinion. Russell Snyder, damn, he is definitely man-sized. Yes, he is. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Yeah, and you know what, Matt? Another thing I was going to say is about Justin Robinson. I always love when Forrest comments because he brings actual, not that nobody else does. But, and if you don't, and I don't know if he still does his channel or not, but WVU Football Going Deep, please check it out if you ever get time. He does a really good job. He goes in depth on, he does different subjects than I do. So, he's different than me is what I'm saying. He also does some of the same stuff. But Rogers is an intriguing story, but he's such an unknown. Took a long time to get everything signed, I think. So he wasn't officially announced or discussed. Correct. But, I really like the Cole Taylor comparison because Cole Taylor similarly, although he didn't play as much as Robinson, is taking that SEC to the Big 12 route. And let's just keep it real, guys. At Mississippi State, the quality of defense he saw in the SEC is a little bit better than what he's going to see in the Big 12 week to week. Do I think that Oklahoma State or Utah or possibly even Arizona, as long as they get it together with their coaches, could be, on par with defenses he's seen? Yes. But mostly, the high-end part of that conversation, there's not many defenses in the Big 12 that play on the Alabama level or any. There's none. So my point is the learning curve won't be steep for him as far as adjusting to the player's speed. Now, the style of defense in the Big 12 is a lot different, although it's being adopted more nationally now. But the 3-3-5 stack defense, which is something that WVU's ran, 3 down linemen. Although, we're moving to a different style this year, but a lot of Big 12 teams are still going to run that. And in the SEC, definitely different. They play basically a form of man coverage. What do they call it? It slips my mind here all of a sudden. But anyway, it's a form of man coverage. It's basically where one defender moves around in a box. So it's definitely Saban loves it. This was basically the defense Saban loved to run, as long as he got the players. Yeah, Forrest Genross is a guy that you want to talk about, and he, I almost went with him and Robinson for this video, but because listen, if you want to talk about a guy that's got what am I trying to say here? In Genross, he's got the accolades being the number one, thank you, Dylan, match coverage. He's the number one JUCO in the country, right? And so I think that's not, a few years ago, that's a big deal. Being the number one JUCO or the number one player in JUCO at any level, you were excited about that player coming in, but because Cole Taylor is there, I think people are sleeping on Genross as well, which I'm not. As a matter of fact, let's see if I can find, because listen, and hopefully my internet cooperates here, because I just need to go ahead and upgrade, I might as well. Let's see. It's funny because he was being recruited so heavily at Colorado. And then I think Colorado went a different direction is what happened, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Here we go. All right. I'm going to pull his highlights up here. This is on 247 Sports. Before anybody else says before I say anything else, listen, ain't nobody writing CJ off. I don't think that's the case at all, Matt. He's mentioned alongside Jaheim a lot. Jaheim's being mentioned first because of what he accomplished, similarly to CJ, right, in his freshman season. But Jaheim did stuff at such an elite level to average almost 8 yards a carry in as many carries as he had. It just doesn't happen a lot. It led the country. So, and then we're hearing in practice, and I've been told in practice from several players that he's even gotten better and that he's really elite. I called CJ. I'm not trying to, you guys know if you watch me a lot, I'm not the guy, I don't pat myself on the back a lot. But I did call CJ Donaldson. I really did. I knew about him because if you look on this show right here, my very first episode that I ever did was interviewing CJ Donaldson's head coach from high school. That's the very first episode I ever did. Very first video I ever did on this channel. was interviewing C.J. Donaldson's high school coach because I had heard a lot about him, and Trey Lathan as well. So, I was excited about him coming in. It's funny. He had a catch. I'll never forget. He was wearing pink, basically trunk, kind of like wrestlers wear, little cut above the knees. He was wearing some bright pink ones. I'll never forget that. And he put it all over some defenders in 7-on-7 drills. So I say all that to say I was on CJ real early, and then I had his coach on to talk about him and Trey Lathan. I did sleep on Trey Lathan a little bit. I knew he was transferring from wide receiver in high school to linebacker, and so to me, I thought that's at least a 2-year deal, and he made it work real quick. All right, let's pull up these Genross highlights. Just if some of you haven't seen him play yet, this is his Dodge City freshman year. I don't know if this is last year or not, but you'll get a sense of just how big the guy is, and hopefully the internet, works with it. But all right, let's go. There's nobody guarding him, but there he is. So he's lined up on the edge, on the end of the line right here. Or no, he's not either. Where is he lined up at? Oh, he's at the H-back spot. So he lined up in H-back, which is something that definitely we could use him in. 6'7", 230. So, can you imagine him and Cole Taylor on the field at the same time with Justin Robinson and Jaden Bray? That's all 6'2" and over. That's Justin Robinson, 6'4". Jaden Bray, 6'2". Genross and Cole Taylor are both 6'7". It gets exciting to think about. How you can't guard all that height. Look how much of an advantage that is, y'all. He just kind of sneaks through there, doesn't he? So here he is, but he's in the H-back spot again, right here, right behind the left tackle. You can see he's got a lot of athleticism. There he is turning it upfield. He's going to be, man, look at that. Guys, how can you not get excited about a guy like this? Here he is. He's in the H-back spot again. Let me make sure you guys can see it. Is everything? Yes, Nick, this is the JUCO tight end. And he's a better blocker. That's funny. I think you're going to say the same thing for us. He is a better blocker than Taylor. There's no doubt about it. So, yes, this is our JUCO tight end, guys. Here he is right here in the H-back spot. Basically, well, it's really not H-back. I think it's just off the line tight end. Look at that route. Hold on a second. Did I just see that? I haven't seen this video of him yet. Look at this route. It's not – listen, it's not the greatest route in history or anything. But for a 6'7", 250 guy, what the hell? Watch this move. That's quick. That's quick for a guy his size. That's exciting to me. Man, he runs a really pretty out route. He drifts a little bit on the curl there, but that can all be fixed. Here's the blocking. In the big, he's reaching a little bit there, but I'm sure he's already gotten stronger. Are we already into the blocking bit part of the highlights? He might overtake Traylon Davis, guys, for that second spot. if he can block. It'd be cool if there was some more receiving highlights for him. Surely there is. Yeah, there he is again. No, he's blocking again. To be the number one tight end, though, I might have the wrong year. This might be the year before he went off. Yeah, this is all. Is this all? Make sure. That was nice. Very nice. He's quick. Just go forward a little bit. Make sure. Is it all blocking at this point? Seems to be. Well, I probably because I've seen some of his other stuff. He's got more catches than that. So we'll definitely, Dylan. We'll definitely see some 12 and 13 personnel this year. You can bet your bottom dollar on that. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Matt Dix talking about Trevon Wesco. Yeah, he was a beast, man. Have you tried turning it on and off, Mo? I'm sorry, brother. I hate that. I really do because it affects us all, Michelle, nice to see you. I haven't seen you in a couple videos. Well, at least live. I have a feeling we're going to see a more creative offense with some really explosive plays. I agree. Because of the RPO element of this offense, if you've got two tight ends that can really run routes and catch the ball, it creates some really interesting dynamics because what you can run out of 13 personnel is really exciting. It really is. I like Dylan Lester's comment. He said, like the video. That's not a bad idea. Please do if you guys don't mind. If you're watching this on X, if you could drift over to YouTube at some point today and like the video, or, if you want to do it now, open up a new window and do it, that would be really cool. Other than that, I understand if you don't feel like it. If you're watching this on X, I'll tell you what else you can do. It says there's 48 of you guys on X watching this. If you could do me a huge favor and just click repost, it's the little arrow thing. If all 48 of you guys reposted the video, it would really help me out a lot. I know that's asking a lot, but it's the cheapest way you can help me. It's free. Like I say, this is what I do full time. I research all day long. I try to watch tape a lot, but basically, I try to, and I write from a website, whatever else. All right, Redshirt Junior, yeah. So obviously that video we were watching there was a little older. I'm sure I could find newer. Let's see. All right. Let's see what this one is. All right, let me try a new one. This is on YouTube, though. It worries me a little bit, but we'll see what it does. Let's see. Let's share it. Oh, my God. Day Farmer excites me so much, Matt. I can't hardly contain it sometimes. This is called Who is Greg Genross, and it's done by Buffed Up TV. So apparently they had – this might be a video like my channel, I didn't even think about that. Let's see. 6'7", 230. We'll play it without sound. They've got some plays, though.
Genross recently.
Yeah, I don't want to play this guy's audio, but we'll play a couple video highlight clips, but just a couple more. This is definitely newer. That's the same first play I saw. I wonder if this is the same tape. Yeah, this looks exactly like what we just watched, doesn't it? Yep, it's the same thing. One-handed catch, though, is pretty nice. Let's see if there's anything new that we haven't seen yet. Oh, this is all the same. Well, let me just look up, or Forrest, if you don't care to, or anybody else, can you guys look up and see what his numbers were last year as far at Dodge City? Because I'm just curious to know what his numbers were. I know they weren't mind-blowing. I think he had somewhere in the 20s or 30s maybe, catches-wise, but I could be off on that. So let's move on for a second here, guys. So obviously, if you're just getting here, we talked about Justin Robinson, who transferred in from Mississippi State, who I'm really high on. I think he could definitely fill the role that Bray is filling. But we'll find out during fall camp if he's ready yet. The great thing about Robinson is he's coming from a Mike Leach offense. And so that's going to be really similar to what Neil Brown does pass concept-wise. And they really had a similar type player in their quarterback. So they ran a lot of RPO stuff. So I really do think it's going to translate well for him. And at 6'4", 220, 230, whatever he is, I think, he's got a real chance to be a true nightmare for us as long as he can stay healthy. I like your questions, Matt. I'm going to highlight this one too. I'm anxious to see if Hudson Clement gets better. He has 500 receiving yards and average 21. Yeah, one negative I'll say before I go any further on Huddy Tuddy is right around half his production came against one team, right? So I don't want to be overly negative here because I do think Hudson Clement could absolutely take a step up and catch 50, 60, 70 balls. I really do, if we pass that much. But I do want to also point out that a lot of his production came against one team. So I just need to see more from him. There are a lot of people high on him, and I am too. I think Preston Fox could have a major impact on this offense too. He's got the best hands on the team. He's not, him and Hudson are both walk-ons. The new rule really upsets me because it's going to basically eliminate walk-ons from football. If you don't know, they added 15 more scholarships, but they took away the total number of players you could have on a team by 15. So it went from 120 to 105 in overall players you can have. That's including walk-ons. And scholarships went from, I think, 85. Help me here, Forrest. Was it 85 to 100? I didn't research it, but I think that's what it is. Mo, I will point out that they're like best friends, but I'm not saying you're wrong. Looks like Genross had 16 catches in 9 games for 173 yards in 2023. Well, you can see the offense, the type of offense they ran, though. I mean, it was like, I don't want to call it antiquated, but it definitely isn't what we're going to run at WVU with him giving him a lot of space. It may need a year. Thank you, Matt Bo Carpenter. I just now saw this. Here's a little Let's Go Mountaineers money for you, brother. Man, look, if that's what that's – I love them $10 Let's Go Mountaineers. That's good stuff. Mouth is getting dry there. So sticking with the theme of offense really quick. If you saw that depth chart that came out, there was some interesting stuff on there. And sorry, my allergies are coming attacking me here all of a sudden. But obviously there are some position battles going on at the 1, 2, and 3 spots that are going to be interesting for fall camp. The number one I'm going to watch, though, is Nick Malone and Xavier Bosley. As you guys know, Xavier Bosley is a buddy of mine at this point. I mean, we do talk ever so often, and I've had him on the show. And, he was nice enough to do an NIL deal with us, and also Reed Carrico. Yes, I'm going to be interested to see where Reed falls. He could go anywhere from starting linebacker to backup linebacker. I think he'll be one of the two. And Xavier Bosley, he has so much upside. Malone has the experience. It'll be really interesting to see who wins that battle, because I think Bosley, if you want to talk about looking at it from a futuristic type perspective, who's our quarterback next year going to be? Most likely. I'm not going to count on Ryder Burton, just so you all know. Nico Marchiol, right, is most likely going to be our quarterback next year. I mean, I would be shocked if he wasn't. Ryder Burton, I think, will factor into that battle, but I don't think he'll win it. Nico's left-handed. Xavier Bosley plays right tackle at a freshman All-American level last year. How important would it be for him to be inserted into the right tackle spot at some point this year as a starter? I think it's important. I think it's something that a lot of people aren't thinking about yet, but I am, because I've thought about Nico next year being the guy. And his blind side, typically the left tackle protects the blind side of the quarterback. But in this case, it would be Xavier Bosley or whoever plays that right side. So that's something to think about for the future. Because if Nick Malone plays all the snaps this year, that means you're going to have a brand new guy on the right side next year coming in to, unless you get a transfer or one of those move. But it'd be interesting. I'm keeping an eye on that. So, all right. I suspect WV will only go to about 95 scholarships and keep some walk-ons. Still, that means some guys have to leave unless they agree to grandfather in the current walk-ons. Well, they better. Surely they would, Forrest, you would think. But, yeah, Mo, I appreciate that, brother. Thank you for the super chat, man. It means a lot. It really does. It does. Every time one of you guys sends a super chat in, I really don't take it for granted, because there was a time when nobody watched this show, and I was talking to myself. So to have 100 people watching me right now it makes me happy. I mean, it's not the most on YouTube, but I'm happy with it. And I want to grow it, and there's some things in the works that I haven't pulled the trigger on. I guess I could talk to you guys about this. Most of you guys that are watching this show right now are longtime listeners. I have an opportunity I've been approached by Locked On Sports to do a West Virginia show. It means this show would turn into Locked On West Virginia, possibly, or Locked On Mountaineers. And I didn't pull the trigger on it because, number one, if they didn't like me, they could fire me, and that means they keep all you guys that I've built, this whole show that I've built. I'm not saying they would do that. I'm not saying they're shady in the least, but that could happen. I could say, sure, we could turn this into Locked On, and from what I understand, it's basically theirs now. Now, the other side of that is I have their resources. I have their show set up. It's a 30-minute show every day now. And it also gets the Locked On name attached to it. That's a scary thing for me, right? They also don't want Hoops from the Hills. They would want me to talk about both on the same show. So what would I do with the other 2,000 subscribers on Hoops from the Hills? And so there's just a lot to it that I don't know the answer to. I know they need a West Virginia guy, and I know there's opportunity to move up within that company, and a lot of the guys that work for them have gotten a lot of subscribers. because I would go from Mountaineer Paul Talks Football to Locked On Mountaineers, and I just think the casual fan that maybe doesn't want to listen to me because I'm a YouTuber will be more inclined to subscribe because it gives me more credibility to the person who doesn't know me, right? And so I just wonder, because I've been stuck right around 2,000 subscribers for like 6 months. I went from 18 to 2,000 to like 6 months. And I went from 0 to almost 2,000 in like 9 months, 10 months maybe. I don't know. I've been at this for like 2 years. So I'm just curious how you guys all feel about it. You guys watch me, you listen to me. Just curious what your all's thoughts on this are. Do you think if I was a part of Locked On, do you think I would grow bigger? Or do you think I could do it on my own? I really need help with the advice. I don't have a lot of people to talk about that to. It's not a question you can just ask your mom, or anything. It's like, and I just don't know the answer to that question, and it's a fairly scary one. But I do need to make a decision on it, like quick, because they're probably going to move to the next guy. And then the other part of that is if I see somebody else get that spot, it's going to be hard for me not to be a little bit jealous, because this is a very competitive field. Don't get it twisted. I found that out. I gave away half of everything I made when I first started this channel, like all the sponsors, all that stuff with certain people. And I don't know why, but I thought investing in friendship, partnership type things would help. And it just didn't do what I thought it would do, So I'm just trying to figure out if I need to go a different route or something now, and it's really hard. I don't know what the answer is. Sorry, I didn't mean to go on about all that. Mr. Barfarkle, member for 2 months. Thank you, sir. I have high hopes for Mountaineer football in 2024. They are, Michelle. You're right. I understand that. To an extent, though, I think clickbait gets I don't want to say a bad rap because it's bad, but in order to succeed in this profession, you have to be just a little bit, like the title I have today. I wouldn't consider it clickbait, but certain people probably think there's a new player or, like I factor that stuff in when I make the titles, but I'm never going to lie to you guys, like that's one thing I vowed never to do. And the thumbnails, as far as I understand, I think I don't know how they work there. I thought it was up to me to do them still, but maybe somebody else would take over. Yeah, I thought about asking for some language to be written into the contract for us, as far as, if I did it, you can't fire me for 6 months or a year, maybe, or something, I guess just the paranoid side of me is like, well, what if I'm thinking of this from the opposite. I'm putting myself in somebody else's shoes. And let me just say this now. I don't think anybody that I've spoken to over there would do this, but my mind still goes to a place of like, some people that run corporations could say, hey, keep in mind, it takes a while to get monetized through YouTube, sometimes up to a year, right? What's a quick way to go to shortcut that, right? Well, one thing would be find somebody that's already monetized, offer them a deal, then fire them. And that's like a part of it that I think about, like if I did that and transitioned over, and what happens if they didn't like me and a week later they fired me? Like, then I'll just be out. So that's another part of it. I don't think that's their intention, but I don't know, Russell. I think I was asking questions that the guy didn't know how to answer all of because he is a talent scouter. And a lot of they do work with people that have shows, don't get me wrong, but they also work with people that are brand new to the field and try to teach them and train them to do these shows. You have to have certain traits, like be in sales. You have to be able to talk, right? Keep with nobody else around. So obviously, somebody that hasn't had a YouTube show would not ask certain questions. And I was asking questions like, because you guys know, like I roll with the punches. Sometimes I've gone live 3 and 4 times in a day. Could I do that? Because they wanted me to do like a 30-minute show, one per day, just one. And then I said, well, what if, X, Y, and Z comes up? Well, then you can ask this person or that person. So I do think it gets a little murky. And then I also brought up the Josh Neighbors situation. If you'll remember, he had Locked On Big 12 as a channel. And then when Bob Huggins, the situation with Bob Huggins happened, he got fired for saying some comments about Bob Huggins in that situation. I can't remember exactly what it was. Oh, he played the clip of Huggins using the remarks on the radio is what it was. And so they fired him for that. And a lot of people were upset over it. Mr. Marparwell says, I think Locked On is a pretty good nationwide group. Would help you financially and increase your viewership. The other side is that by bringing you on board, they're eliminating a competitor. That's also true. Think about that, Mr. Marparwell. The funny thing is I would have to take a pay cut to do it right away. My sponsors, everything like that. That's the other part of it. I told him, I said, I'm completely okay with taking a pay cut to, I don't want to be blinded by the forest for the trees. If I could, just hypothetically, if I could sign up with ESPN right now and make $0, I would do it for 6 months or whatever for the long term of that. In this situation, if I could see myself growing in that role to a larger extent, 15, 20, 20,000, whatever it is, I would absolutely do it. I would give up $1,000 a month right now for that, or in this case, like $1,500. So, it's a tough choice, So I don't know the answer, and it's one of those things where I also don't want to slight myself. I haven't put all into this channel that I could here over the last 6 months because of like health issues and sometimes procrastination. So I also have to be honest with myself about it, right? I haven't done everything I could do to grow this channel. If I was just dead set on it. And so a couple of days ago, I told myself, I need to give this a real shot. I've at least got to try to grow this. Or if anything, I've thought about changing it up, like the title of the show from Mountaineer Paul Talks Football to something a little bit more neutral. Still talking about West Virginia all the time, but my name won't be West Virginia centric because I think that scares people away from the get-go that may be neutral college football fans. Because some people don't click on me just because I'm a West Virginia guy, right? So, I feel like there are some things I could do with it that would give me a better chance. And so there's a lot of stuff that I need to think over and do. But as we sit here, I think personally, I don't know. I think I probably should need to keep doing what I'm doing. I would love to have that opportunity. And if I had more clarity on it, I would probably do it. I also have another opportunity to host a very popular among West Virginia fans show. But it's a website. Um, not it's not like Voice of Morgantown or West Virginia Sports Now or anything. But they had approached me about possibly hosting a YouTube show for them, and I was very interested in that. But we haven't spoken in like 2 or 3 months about it. So there have been a couple things. But I think, before I give this channel away and do all that, and, I'm glad I've had a few minutes to talk this out loud, because I've just been thinking about it up until now. I guess, I'm going to try to make this work on my own. I'm thinking about changing the name, guys, to something else, though. Mountaineer Paul Talks Football is great. Love it. Love my logo. I do. I love my logo. And I can keep it, right? My name is still Mountaineer Paul. But I think the name needs to change to something else. I'm going to try to figure that out over the next month or two, transition into that somehow. So before I forget, I totally forgot to read the ad for this episode. So let me do that really quick. Apologies, guys. Sorry, Sean, meant to already do this. All right. Sorry, y'all. I'm pulling it up now. Today's episode is sponsored by Magic Shine Auto Spa Tint in Morgantown, West Virginia. At Magic Shine, your vehicle's care is their top priority. They use only the highest quality products to ensure your car not only looks its best, but is also protected and maintained with the utmost care. From window tinting with top-of-the-line Max Pro Tint to protective ceramic coatings from Diamond Protect, they've got you covered. Drive in today and experience the difference at Magic Shine Auto Spa and Tint, where your car shines like new. And don't forget to shine on, Morgantown. All right. Back to the West Virginia conversation, and sorry if I went off on a tangent that you guys weren't interested in. I wasn't getting a whole lot of comments on it, so I had to try to read the room. And really, if I was watching this, what can you say? So I need to put in the corner. Yeah, I know. For not adding you on college football, huh? I need to do something or put a reminder on here to do this. Let me put a reminder in my phone to do that really quick, Jacob. Okay, give me your name again one more time. Preferably your PlayStation one, but or even your EA one. I'll figure it out. All right, so if you haven't been watching up until now, basically what we've been talking about is secret weapons in WVU offense, right? And Justin Robinson was the player I was talking about. We detailed what that was. Okay, Jacob. Yeah, I'll do that on WV Insiders. I'll get on there and message you. That's a really good point. A great point for us. I love it. So one thing that Zach Frazier was limited in was gap blocking scheme. He was a zone blocking center, and gap blocking not his thing, right? Forrest makes the point. What if the secret weapon is actually Yates' ability to pull wide and get blocks outside of the tackle? I agree. That's a great point. We'll be able to do more. But not that he's better than Zach. Not at all. It's just a different style thing we can do. WVU _2020. Gotcha. Yates is a flipping beast. He is, man. But Justin Robinson, 6'4", 220 pounds, has caught a bunch of balls in the SEC. He's caught touchdowns for Georgia and Mississippi State. Why can't he do it for West Virginia? There's no reason he can't. So I'm excited to see what he can do, guys. Like the video as always. Like I said, if you're new around here, if you're watching on X, thank you for contributing. Come over and subscribe to the channel, by the way, Mountaineer Paul Talks Football, and drop a comment below, either on my X account. And if you can't do that, if you're watching this on X, which it says 88 of you guys are watching this on X, you can almost help me change my life, for real. Like, it's in your power. It's within your hands. If you just hit repost while you're watching the video. I know whenever you like, I'm asked to do things on videos, like I know most never do it. So I know almost none of you will probably do it. But man, you could really help me in the channel a lot if you just click repost or, retweet, whatever you want to call it, over on X. That's like the main way you can help the channel if you can. It would really mean a lot. All right. Randall, we probably lost Corey McIntyre for the season. Yeah, we did, man. It's upsetting. Yeah, I saw that. In the Gun has a great video with Drenning breaking down tape of Greene's running ability. Well, let's watch it, Forrest. I already got it. I pulled it up earlier on when I was chilling. Let me go look at it really quick. Hopefully they won't mind. Let me just look at Jen Brenning. All right. Yeah, that's a great idea for us, though. All right, let me share this screen really quick. This is exactly what we're talking about, too, in for us with him pulling wide. All right, 1 second. And guys, this is Inside the Gun. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Go check them out. They do good, excellent West Virginia stuff. I'm going to play a video of theirs. I think this is the one. Let me make sure. Is this it? Okay. Well, I guess this is it right here. Okay.
Absolute strike by Garrett Greene. Hits the top of his drop. Reset and drive it. Greene going deep. Greene's got a guy. Greene climbs, launches, downfield.
Oh, I missed the one from earlier on our Forest. So they posted one earlier that actually showed. It must have been a while ago. Must have put a bunch of stuff up since then. Yeah, here we go. Found it.
I just crap.
So this is a great example of what Brandon Yates can do as a center that Zach didn't do as much because of his athleticism, and he's just really nasty, man. Like, so is Zach. No, obviously extremely nasty. Let's check this video out if you haven't seen it.
I just crafted.
So watch. I think was it Yates that did this
On this blitz. Right guard Brandon Yates eyes him up,
Yep.
but Hodge just hovers with a nothing to see here posture, acting like he might be in coverage. As soon as Yates turns away to help right tackle Doug Nestor by ear-holing defensive end Paul Wale, Hodge fires through the tackle Doug
Watch this hit Yates lays on the defensive end.
Nestor by ear-holing defensive end Paul Oyewale. Hodge fires through the open window, quickly closing on Garrett. Garrett immediately looks for an escape route and sees that defensive contain to the left has completely evaporated, with boundary tackle Caleb Fox getting gobbled up in a double team by Wyatt Milam and Tomas Rimac. Greene seizes on the opportunity to his left, showing his burst and outrunning Hodge to the perimeter before cutting upfield into open space. Lots of open space. Another prime example of what happens to a defense that lets a quarterback like Garrett Greene break free against defenders scattered in man coverage.
So that wasn't the one I thought it was, but still pretty damn cool. Number one, you know, what makes me happy about this video is Brandon Yates actually made a mistake. He got fooled by the delayed blitz, right? But Garrett Greene is a mistake eraser. He's able to take a situation that JT Daniels is lying on the ground. Will Greer, maybe he gets throws the ball away there, but he's definitely not getting away, right? Garrett Greene in that same situation.
Garrett immediately looks for an escape route and sees that defensive contain to the left has completely evaporated, with boundary tackle Caleb Fox getting gobbled up in a double team by Wyatt Milam and Tomas Rimac. Greene seizes on the opportunity to his left, showing his burst and outrunning Hodge to the perimeter before cutting upfield into open space. Lots of open space. Another prime example of what happens to a defense that lets a quarterback like Garrett Greene break free against defenders scattered in man coverage.
And look, here's another thing
against
too.
free against defenders.
Here's another thing too. Garrett outruns angles, guys. Look at this guy here coming from his left. He's got an angle.
That lets a quarterback like Garrett Greene break free against
right there. He's got an angle, but Garrett outruns angles.
Defenders scattered in man coverage.
He's special. He's special, folks. He really is. Yeah, they've got a great breakdown, and I wish I had technologically the ability. I'm no Jed Rennie at all. Would never claim to be that. Breaking down film, I'm not as detailed as he would be, but I would still love to do that. I would still love to have the little things they got to mark everything, and I'm sure there are ways to do it, but yeah, I know, man. I'm waiting for that one to post as well. I guess on their YouTube channel, do they have the entire video on that for us? Is that what's going on? Eddie V is a great pick, Mo, for a guy that's unsung on the defensive line that could really take a huge step this year. TJ Jackson is obviously a friend of the show. He's been on the show. I can text him right now. I don't know if he'd answer right now, but he would answer at some point. He is, in my opinion, got a chance to make a huge impact. I think he can make the impact this year that I thought the kid from Tennessee State was going to make last year. That his biggest highlight of the year was dancing on the sidelines. What was his name? Just slipped my mind. Good Lord. Devon Hawkins. So, TJ Jackson is going to make the impact I thought Devon Hawkins would make last year. I really did. I thought he was going to make a bigger impact. So it was unfortunate. Sonny Redwood, he's a defensive lineman. He backs up Eddie V for sure. Forrest is in front of me on all this stuff today. Okay, cool. Does that show more than just that highlight, Forrest? Josiah Trotter, number 40. At least I think he's still number 40 unless he changed it. But Yeah, he's probably going to win a starting job, to be honest. I think he'll definitely play a lot. I mean, the first, linebacker, especially this year, guys, we've got 5 to 6 guys that are all going to play a lot. Who starts isn't going to matter as much, but, you know, it's going to matter. Don't get me wrong. But we've got guys that I really think this linebacking group is the most flexible linebacking group we've had in a while, probably since 2021, 2020. Oh, I got to go watch that immediately. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and jump off too. That's been an hour and 5 minutes. Thank you all for sticking around so long. If you're on X, before we go, please click repost on the video. I know I've asked twice. I'm going to ask one more time. Just trying to get the videos out there to people. If you don't feel comfortable, I totally understand. But, man, I'm going to get a pizza. I'm hungry. I'm going to watch that video, and we'll get a video ready for tomorrow. I've got a lot of stuff to talk about. Oh, by the way, Tucker DeVries did respond on my phone's dead. Tucker DeVries responded texted me the other day when I asked him the question about his shoulder. Because on the show I said I would text him, and he didn't reply. And literally 5 minutes after we went off, he replied. But he said, because I was asking about the shoulder surgery, wasn't the same one, because we were questioning. They said he came back faster this time rather than last time. Well, it turns out basically he had a different surgery altogether. Same shoulder, different surgery. It was fixing less as well. So that's why he was able to come back so quickly from this. And he's taking full contact hits. So glad for Tucker on that. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you. That's okay, Timothy. Glad you're here, brother. Just go back and watch the video over. No big deal. See you next time, Bo. Everybody that showed up. If you can, get over to X and repost this one for me. Just like to get it out there to everybody and try to grow this show, man. I need to get better at that. I don't ever go on social media and promote besides just right before. I need to do more promoting. If anybody's interested in being a full-time promoter for me, or if you know anybody that's in college, it's your family member, that they're an intern or anything like that, and they want some experience working for somebody, I would pay them a little bit. Let me know. Reach out to me on either WestVirginiaInsiders.com in the forum, or reach out to me on @Paul Mountaineer, which is right there underneath the video, @Paul Mountaineer. So, all right, guys, hope you enjoyed the show. Keep coming back. It works if you work it. And Ty French will factor in, Matt, no doubt. He will factor in. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Like I said, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. We'll talk again tomorrow. I'm out.